Welcome to Adventures in Life. I'm Earl Beecher, your host. Our guest is Jerry Skillett. He is the president of the Software Council of Southern California. And I'm going to open the show by asking you, Jerry, if you would tell us what the council is, who are members, how it functions, what it does.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me on your program.
I appreciate your coming on short notice.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. The Software Council is a member organization. It's a nonprofit, private organization. And the slogan for the Software Council is where software means business. And so our primary objective at the council is to put software companies together to, increase their business. And it might be through merger and acquisition or learning more about developing software, marketing software, becoming a profitable company, all of the aspects of the business itself.
Now look, I'm a member of the general public, and I admit I'm not very well informed on software. Why are there so many I thought once you had Microsoft Word, that's all there was. There isn't any more. And you say there's a lot of small companies that are creating software, and you're putting them together with clients?
There are.
Bring me up to date.
Okay. I think a lot of people don't realize in Southern California alone, there's over 4,000 software companies just in Los Angeles and Orange County.
Are they each creating their own programming techniques?
They're each creating their own programs, and I have a software company myself. And to give you an example, one of the products that we've developed over the last few years is a plug-in and was licensed by Microsoft as a plug-in for Office 2000.
Okay.
And so a lot of times what happens is that software developers are out there and they will find an aspect of something, a current maybe operating program that doesn't work very well. And they'll solve that, or maybe they'll add something to it. And instead of actually trying to market that themselves, they may license that to a much larger firm like Microsoft.
Or Apple, or...
Yes, of course.
Now, Apple's a hardware, not software.
Yes.
And IBM was hardware, but Microsoft was software. But does Apple have an equivalent to Microsoft software?
Well, Apple does have some of their own software applications, as well as, if you're familiar with the Apple operating system
Not
at
really.
all, it's a closed system, and so they have specific developers that develop software applications for their overall operating system themselves.
Now, there's 4,000 companies right here in Southern California creating new software.
Yes.
Are they primarily working with manufacturing like the aerospace firms, or are they...
Well,
what's their market?
I think that software is such a broad term.
It is. That's why I'm trying to get it.
Because there's software that's used, for instance, here in the studio itself. There's software that does your editing. Mm-hmm. There's software that handles the television signals and things like that. We touch software so much when we use our personal computers, but there's software behind an ATM machine. There's software in your automobile. So really, the software business touches so much of our lives today.
So it isn't all a new program for my PC?
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm getting a broader view. Okay, good. Explain more.
Well, I think what we try to do at the council, I think, to really help the software entrepreneurs, you might ask, why are there so many software companies in Southern California?
Okay, why are there?
I think what happened was a lot of the technology here was built around the defense industry, and with the downturn in the defense industry in the 80s, mm-hmm. a lot of those engineers became entrepreneurs and started software application companies, and they did a lot of technology transfer. Maybe it was some kind of software solution for aircraft or a government program, and they use that application to now use it in the general public. And so a lot of companies started in the 80s in the software industry in Southern California from the defense industry.
Now, many of these companies are still small, aren't they? Aren't they keyed on that one engineer who is the brain behind it, or have they been growing?
Of course they grow, but software companies traditionally all over the world are small companies. We know the Microsofts and the Oracles of the world because they're publicly traded, but those are few and far between. There's thousands and thousands of small companies, 3 to 10 employees, that build incredible developments and applications for the bigger firms.
Now, most of this is unique programming, isn't it?
It is. It's unique programming, and just like if...
what kind of a background does a person have to be able to program and to be able to understand a program once somebody's created it?
You're asking a great question. When you take a look at the council itself, the members, the software council companies, where they're actually software companies themselves, we have 25% of them are hardcore engineer types, software developers that deal with code and that type of development. Another 50% or so may be people that have been related to the software business in sales and marketing, and they know how to get a software product out to market. And then you have another 25% or so of the companies out there that are run by people that are just good at business. And what they've done is that they component pieces together. They'll take software developers, and they'll take sales and marketing people from the software industry, and they'll put them together and package that together and maybe put a product out in the marketplace. Myself, that's what I did. I do not, 6 years ago when I started in the software business, I had no experience at software at all. And I gained all of my experience from the council, believe it or not, and started putting together software developers, marketing people, and ideas. And
now, the council is maybe 6 years old, is that what you're saying?
It's about 10 years old.
About 10.
Actually, this is our 10th year anniversary.
Oh, okay. Do you offer seminars, training? In other words, what is the function of the council itself?
Dr. Beecher, there's this year, there are 90 programs. 90? 90 programs that we put on. And there's something...
All here, or all over the country, or all over the world?
They're all in Southern California.
They're all in Southern California?
Yes. Our programming ranges from Santa Barbara down to San Diego. And we have, not offices, but we have programming in the whole area. And we separate them in what we call special interest groups. We have sales and marketing. We have specifically for software developers, for instance. We have programs for CFOs and CEOs of software companies, companies that are specifically internet related. So there are special interest groups that we have kind of traveling programs that go along. But this year, the exact number is 93 programs this year. Last year we had 87. And so it's very extensive. And you literally could join the council if you were a smart businessman, I think. You could join the council.
In other words, you don't have to be a software company to become a member of the software council.
No, you don't. About 70% of the members are software companies. 30% would be affiliated services like law firms, accounting firms.
Oh, I see.
Human resource companies, companies that I would call service companies that serve software companies.
I want to pause for a public service announcement. She's giving me the signal.
Okay.
So stay with us. We'll be right back with Jerry Skillett, the president of the Software Council of Southern California. Our guest is Jerry Skillett, the president of the Software Council of Southern California. Jerry, how does this council, they're bringing people together, and you said you don't have to be just a software company.
That's correct.
You can be in business. How do they relate to government and to educational institutions, and what are they doing to bring things together? So
Great question. I think that one of the big pushes this year has been getting more universities involved in what we're doing. And of course, the local governments, especially in Southern California, the city of Los Angeles and Irvine and others, have gotten very involved because they have economic development departments and specific programs to, initiate technology, infrastructure and technology development in Southern California. So we've been very involved with the mayor's office and that in making sure that we provide great resources for companies that come and want to move to Southern California and develop their technology. And so they utilize, the Software Council is very well known in those in behind the scenes as being a strong advocate and a group that assists software development for government.
if a mayor comes to you and says, I have such and such a problem, you say, I know just the company that might.
It happens all the time.
Does it?
It happens all the time. We will get. We have a full-time paid staff of the Software Council, which again is very unusual for a nonprofit organization.
Yes.
But we have a director. We have 4 full-time staff members. We have a very active board, and our staff is there specifically to help facilitate software business. We get calls all the time from major corporations that possibly need software solutions. We give a lot of referrals, obviously, to our members. We have a lot of members that call us and say, Jerry, I'm trying to develop a soundtrack program, and who do you know within the council are experts in QuickTime development, for instance?
I see.
And we know that, and so we put those parties together. And we find that's our job. We are trying to help facilitate that business and help our member companies obviously grow and be very successful.
When I was teaching at the university, I taught finance, investments, forecasting, and research methodology, all of these things that were oriented in this direction, and a lot of it was macroeconomic studies of the cities and so forth. And there was a lot of new software coming in all the time, and I used to make the students read things like Future Shock and Megatrends and all these books that predict the learning curve is going through the roof. The question that comes to my mind is your organization one that stays on top of, at least is aware of all of the new changes? Because I keep hearing this story, well, if I buy this thing, it's obsolete the day after tomorrow.
Well, of course, that's true to some extent, but well, with all the programming that we do, with all the programs, we attract a tremendous number of speakers from all over the world that come and talk to our members. And one of the ways we think we do this, one of the best things that we do, frankly, is keep everyone up on new technology trends, new sales trends within software.
The trends, a trend doesn't last very long.
It doesn't, and
they're moving so fast.
There's something that's very unique about the software business that in a lot of businesses you would never hear this. Software companies, you'll be shocked at this, but software companies love to share their secrets. They love to share how they're penetrating a market. They love to share their trends and what they're seeing. They love to share business in that standpoint because software is rarely dominated by one company. Now we know that Microsoft has such a big share, but what people don't realize is that how many software companies provide Microsoft with all the solutions that they have. And all of those plugins, all of those companies,
You mean they don't have a monopoly on the brain power?
they don't. They absolutely don't.
They have their own staff, but they are drawing from other small firms all the time.
I've owned 3 software companies, 3 successful software companies in 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the second company that I started, we fully licensed our product into Microsoft product.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they could have spent the money to develop what we developed on their own, but you know, we
Why
can do it
reinvent
faster.
the wheel if it's already
We can
there?
do it faster, less expensive.
All you had to do is make them aware you had it.
That's exactly right. And they have programs within those companies that really help facilitate and help companies like ours to integrate our technology in theirs. They really encourage it. They have to have it if they're going to stay on the cutting edge themselves. So one of the jobs of the Software Council, again, is that if someone comes to us and says, I think I have a great idea for Microsoft, how do I do business with Microsoft? There's someone in the council, like myself and others, that have done business with the major
You say
firms.
we can just give them a
help.
call to so-and-so and you're in touch.
That's right. We get them started on the right path.
You mentioned during the break that you could show an example of a company startup, product creation, how to market it, and so forth.
Yes.
Kind of give us that so that if we've got some viewers out there who are, shall we say, savvy in the software field, they would know what to do.
There's a fabulous story that's happened over the last 5 or 6 years. I was actively involved in this company, and I'm a part owner of this company. But there's a firm called Sonic Desktop, and they make an incredible product called Smart Sound. And Kevin Klinger, who founded the company, is a musician and built soundtracks for motion pictures, and that was what he did. Well, he came up with an idea of actually making a software program that did that very thing. So Kevin did not have any software experience at all, and he joined the council, and from the council he was able to develop the product. He was able to begin marketing the product. He got his venture financing from the Software Council.
The council helps find venture capital for people?
We have 75 of our members are some of the leading venture capital firms in the United States. And so his law firm came from the council, his accounting firm came from the council, and he launched the product through a firm that was at the council, and that product has been incredibly successful. But if you were ever to meet Kevin and talk with him, he would say, what was the #1 right thing I did from the beginning? And it was the resources that he got at the council that really got him started on the right path and has been a major part of the success of that company. Dr. Beecher, this happens over time and time again.
Well, it must be very satisfying to you to be in the middle and watching this happen.
I volunteer my time. I run a company full-time as well as 24/7 digital, but
I know what 24/7 stands
that's
for.
right. And but I get calls from
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Digital.
That's correct.
Okay.
We have photography and film clips, basically for advertising agencies for their ads.
I see.
And so we provide them to our customers 24/7 all over the world.
They can just log on and pull what they need?
They can. Yes, they can buy film clips and photography.
Let me ask you this, intellectual property
Yes.
and the piracy going on in other countries, is that a big problem?
Huge. It's a huge problem. It's very difficult to stop. Even in the United States, anytime that you have a product that's digital, it's very, very difficult to keep people from copying it and sharing it with others. There is really no great solution. There's lots of software locks and keys and different things that you can do. I'm giving you a very simple explanation. But particularly when you ever start distributing your products on an international basis, it's out of sight. It's very difficult at that point to control. If you're a small company, like a lot of our members, it's very difficult to control it. And we All we tell them is that they have to be very careful as far as who their distribution partners are around the world.
They have to be honest people.
Reputable companies, and
Yes.
they're out there, and we know of many of those firms. We certainly don't know all of them, but
The council is collecting a record of people you can trust.
we do.
Overseas.
We have an international SIG, special interest group,
Yes.
that some of the members of that special interest group, that is their primary job. They have companies that help software firms distribute their products worldwide and protect their intellectual property
Well,
worldwide.
not only software firms need that, but entertainment
Everyone
firms.
does.
Yes. Okay, they tell me it's time to
Okay.
pause for another public service announcement. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Jerry Skillett, the president of the Software Council of Southern California. Our guest is Jerry Skillett. He is the president of the Software Council of Southern California and also president of his own firm, 24/7 Digital.
Mhm.
You know, this digital field is really interesting. Everything seems to be going digital.
Well, let me comment on that, because I'm probably most passionate about the fact that today, through the internet or other digital means, that we can conduct business so quickly and easily. And my own firm, that's exactly, our charge in life is to make sure that advertising agencies can get their photography that they use for ads and their film clips that they use for television commercials basically instantaneously. And it saves them so much time and money. And I'm
Yes.
excited about that. I think that is the wave of a lot of the software companies that we're seeing today.
Absolutely. Do you accept the work of outside photographers?
We do.
I did a TV show with Jeff Sedlick. And
Oh, sure.
do you know him?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's outstanding.
Outstanding, yes.
Yes. And it's really a pleasure to have you here today and to find out the council and where a person can go for help in product development, in marketing their product, and protecting their
Yes.
product.
I would encourage you or any of your listeners or watchers to, if they have an interest in technology, that the Software Council is a great place to start. It really is.
Thank you so much for being here and
Thank you,
being
my
our
pleasure.
guest on Adventures in Life. I
Yeah.
appreciate your coming
All right,
in.
thank you.
And we want to thank our viewing audience for joining us, and please join us soon again for more Adventures in Life.